Hey, Renter Retires, it's Adam Schroeder, and today we're going to talk about what reserves you need to have to help you sleep at night with your rental portfolio. All right, before we get started, I want to remind everybody, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any of the content we're putting out as we try to make you the best investor you can possibly be so that you can have success along your real estate journey. And at the end of the video, if it's been helpful for you, click the like button so other people can see it's a video that they should watch. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or anything else you want us to make a video about, leave it in the comments below and I will get to it as soon as possible. So you might be thinking, Adam, you have another video that talks about reserves that I need for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Why on earth are you making this video? Well, because that one was about what you have to have. And this one's going to be about what you should have. Because when it comes to reserves, you also need to have reserves for expenses that come up along the way. Now, obviously, we have a maintenance assumption in our pro formas that has, maintenance that money you should be setting aside to deal with maintenance issues. But the simple fact is, a lot of people start getting concerned as their portfolio builds up over time that they're going to need to have, enough money to have 10 HVAC units replaced or 10 roofs put on, or how much money do I really need to have? And the answer to that one is kind of twofold. Number one, it's not as much as you think, and number two, it's whatever helps you sleep at night. Because the honest thing is, when it comes to this, part of the journey of real estate and investing in turnkey is to make your life easier. So whatever it takes to help you feel comfortable and go to sleep at night, that's part of how much money you should have in the bank to cover expenses on your properties. But when it comes to how much you should actually have, then you need to kind of run a numbers game. Let's just say you have 10 properties. The likelihood of needing 10 new roofs at the same time is very, very minimal. So maybe you have enough money set aside for 2. The likelihood of having an HVAC go out is very, very minimal. So maybe you set aside enough money for 2, because those are going to last a long time, 15, 20 years for an HVAC unit. Not all of your water heaters are going to go out at the same time. So maybe you have enough for 3 since those don't last as long, maybe 4 at the high end. So you don't need as much as you think. It's kind of like the large number effect, the law of large numbers. Is not everything is going to go out at once. You're not going to suddenly need new flooring on 10 homes all at one time. You're not suddenly going to need to have to, do a remodel on a bathroom or something like that all at the same time. You're not going to be painting 10 homes at the same time. And you're not going to have all of these things coming around at the same time. So do you need money set aside for reserves? Absolutely. How much money do you need? Not nearly as much as you're thinking. As long as you have enough set aside to really kind of fix maybe 20 to 25% of your portfolio, you are not going to have all of these issues come up all at once and sink you underwater. That's just not the way that it works. That's not the way large numbers work. Yes, there may be some times where it gets tighter than other times, obviously. Nothing is set in stone about when things are going to break or die or, whatever other issues that come up along the way. But remember, you're not having to fully pay for all of these things all at once. There is no need to set that aside, because if you do, you will end up with doing one of two things. Number one, never buying another property, because you have to just keep setting aside money and money and money and money before you move forward. And you're going to end up with a ton of money in the bank, losing money due to inflation every single month. So keep that in mind. As you have this money sitting there, you're losing money having it sitting there waiting for repairs. Now, obviously, you can put it in a high yield checking account or savings account online, but you're going to get what? 0.5% right now, 0.4%, maybe 0.25%. That's not going to keep up with, 5 to 8% inflation, somewhere in that range, depending on, what's going on and if anything policy-wise and is able to help us slow down what's happening. So you don't want to have too much money set aside, but you also don't want to be going to the point where you're having trouble going to sleep at night because you're worried about, what if this breaks? What if that breaks? Am I going to be able to cover this expense? Because while you probably will be able to cover that expense, like I said before, this is supposed to be helping your life, improving your life, making sure that you're actually doing the things that you want to do. And you're not going to be able to really enjoy life if you don't feel comfortable with the amount you have set aside. But please do not set aside enough money to cover every single thing that could go wrong with every single property. And remember, you can also use the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac reserves that we talked about in another video with this money as well, because obviously you can get to it and it won't be a big problem. So set aside enough for maybe 20%, something like that on the high end, and just know that not everything is going to come due at the same time. This is not a worst case scenario world that we're living in. And just know that everything will be okay. You need a reserve stockpile, but it is not as big as you probably think as you're getting started. So I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please click the like button. Let us know that it was something that piqued your interest. And as always, if you have any comments, leave them below and I will get to them as soon as possible. And don't forget to check us out at renttoretirement.com. That's renttoretirement.com. You can see our inventory there, and you can also schedule a call with one of our investment strategists like myself. And we're happy to talk to you about kind of how we might be able to help you in your real estate journey, what you need to do to get where you want to get in your real estate journey, and connect you with any people who might be able to help you out along the way as well. So that's at renttoretirement.com. Really appreciate the time that you're putting in to making yourself the best investor you can possibly be. And we'll see you on the next video.
Thanks for watching the Rent to Retirement YouTube channel. Check out some of our other videos, like this one, or this one here.